The stock indexes are down again big today. The S&P 500 down 1.84%. The NASDAQ 100 down 1.76%. 20-year bonds up just a smidgen at 0.03%. Gold down just a little bit, 0.03%. Let's jump into these markets. You're listening to Charting Wealth's Daily Review. What do we see going on with the S&P 500? Another bigger down candle. If you recall, over the last couple of weeks, we had an up candle for the week ending the 9th of November. Then we had a doji pretty much ending the 16th. That was Friday the 16th of November. So far this week, as we get 2 days into a 5-day candle, we see that we have a red down candle with a long wick on the bottom, no wick on the top. Derivative oscillator still losing a little bit of downward momentum, but that price percent oscillator has kinked over like a hockey stick going down. So all things being equal, remember the market tends to move in the direction of the largest chart, which is the weekly chart, which is strong down. Let's go from the weekly to the 2-day. And of course, we have a nice 3-candle trend line. We finished drawing this latest candle on Tuesday. And again, another red down candle. Little wick on the top, long wick on the bottom. And again, strong down movement. Price percent oscillator kinked over going down. Derivative oscillator losing upward momentum. And that 4-hour chart continues to look beautiful. Strong down in the morning and then down again in the afternoon. So things are looking quite nice. Let's go from the weekly on to the weekly rather. On the Qs, that is the NASDAQ 100. Again, strong down candle forming. Price percent oscillator heading down strongly. Derivative oscillator also heading down strongly. So the down movement stronger in the NASDAQ 100. That is the tech stocks as opposed to the broader market in the S&P 500. We go to the 2-day chart. It's also dropped over, the kinked over going down on the price percent oscillator. Derivative oscillator has gone negative. And again, strong down movement. And we can actually go ahead and redraw our trend line. We like to keep accurate trend lines after things started moving up. After the latest trend line sort of was broken starting on the 2-day candle ending the 31st of October, we had 8 days of up movement pretty much, and then 8 days of down movement in the market so far. We go to the 4-hour chart. What do we see there? Strong down movement in the morning, a little bit of a recovery in the afternoon. Derivative oscillator gaining downward momentum. Price percent oscillator spiking down. Price movement well below the weekly and the 2-day. So those of you who are into down plays on the Qs in particular, and the NASDAQ 100, things are looking beautiful, aren't they? You just see the numbers ticking up in your virtual trade. Just a reminder, we're not a stock calling service. We're an education firm. We don't give market advice. We want you to practice with us. Get really good, combine all the knowledge you've gained over many years of practice. Then and only then can you make up your own decision, your own mind as to how to spend your own money. Let's get into TLT 20-year bonds. What do we see going on there on the weekly chart? Looks like we're going into a second week of up movement, at least so far with the weekly chart. Derivative oscillator heading up. Price percent oscillator looks like it's getting close. Well, the price percent oscillator heading up. Derivative oscillator looks like it's getting close to crossing over to a green. We'll continue to watch, but the candle's shaping up quite nicely. Looks like bonds are trying to bottom out somewhere around the 113 mark. We go from, and again, things haven't crossed over yet, so we still are in a confirmed down move on the weekly chart. Maybe by the end of the week, we will see some things reversing. What do we see on the 2-day chart? Going into the 8th day of strong up movement. Again, looking quite nice. The derivative oscillator gaining upward momentum. Price percent oscillator heading up. We go to that 4-hour chart. What do we see there? Again, just continuing to move up. Strong up movement in the morning. Bit of a pullback in the afternoon. Again, as we said, TLT up just a little bit for the day, 0.03%. Back to our weekly chart. Now we go to gold. What is gold doing? Down a little bit for the day, but so far appears to be an up week as far as the Heikin-Ashi candlesticks goes, and the price percent oscillator. Derivative oscillator still positive, but losing some upward momentum. But that price percent oscillator's still heading up after 3 weeks of sort of sideways and down movement previously. We'll see if gold is finding a stable level to start moving up again. Gold, of course, is still in a confirmed up move. On the weekly chart, 2-day, just not enough energy to have a cross yet. Remember, the weekly is up, the 2-day is down. We've got to have that 2-day cross over on the price percent oscillator to be heading up in order for us to have the ability to jump into a move. Derivative oscillators still negative. So we'll go from the 2-day, lastly to the 4-hour. What do we see going on there? Up movement in the morning and then down in the afternoon. Are we finding sort of a breaking point here? We see the derivative oscillator topped out back in the afternoon on Monday the 19th, and we ended the day with a hammer, with a down move. So we'll just sort of wait and see if indeed the market's just sort of digesting some up moves and it'll turn back around in gold. But let's keep our eye on things. Not going to have any move in gold until the 2-day and the weekly are moving in the same direction. Folks, that's where we are as we end the day. Hope that you are looking forward as the week progresses to a wonderful Thanksgiving. Thank you so much for joining us. You want to support us, go to our Patreon link. We've got lots of great training for you there, lots of great offerings. Besides quarterly training, Bitcoin training, we also have a special Q&A we do once a month for our entry-level support. Intermediate-level support, of course, you get a 15-minute phone call with specialized, personalized training once a month. All sorts of great things. Follow the Patreon link there you'll see in the show notes. And if you haven't purchased our book, we'd appreciate your support. Helps you understand what we talk about here on a daily basis. Lots of great training available. God bless, my friends. All the best from the whole team here at Charting Wealth World Headquarters.